Well, in Washington, there were a lot of people commenting at the end of yesterday that this is day one of the impeachment. Well, I want to really say this is about day 1029, because that's how many days have elapsed, have passed since President Trump was sworn into office. And it has been the mission of the American left, along with their cohorts, their allies in the media, to find a reason to impeach President Trump since the day he won the election in November 2016, and certainly since the day he was sworn into office in January 2017. This impeachment theater you are watching in Washington is truly an opportunity for Americans to re-examine. It's actually, we could in some ways view as a positive, an opportunity for Americans to really consider what the Constitution means, who possesses power in Washington to do what, and the mission and purpose of the impeachment underway, and contrasted with what impeachment is really supposed to be. Yesterday, I played a short clip from Devin Nunes, his opening statement prior to the beginning of this first day of the official and open hearing for impeachment. And this morning, today I want to start with his comments, other little segments from Devin Nunes' opening statement yesterday, and we'll talk about what he's really saying, because what he's talking about, this is clip one for the very wonderful Matt, the producer, but we had Devin Nunes really telling America what the Democrats are doing, what they're all about. So worth listening to what he has to say. This is Devin Nunes.
The witnesses deemed suitable for television by the Democrats were put through a closed-door audition process in a cult-like atmosphere in the basement of the Capitol, where Democrats conducted secret depositions, released a flood of misleading and one-sided leaks, and later selectively released transcripts in a highly staged manner. Violating their own guidelines, Democrats repeatedly redacted from the transcripts the name of Alexander Chalupa, a contractor for the Democratic National Committee who worked with Ukrainian officials to collect dirt on the Trump campaign, which she provided to the DNC and the Hillary Clinton campaign. The Democrats rejected most of the Republicans' witness requests, resulting in a horrifically one-sided process where the crucial witnesses are denied a platform if their testimony does not support the Democrats' absurd accusations. Notably, they are trying to impeach the president for inquiring about Hunter Biden's activities. Yet they refuse our request to hear from Biden himself. But we should not hold any hearings at all until we get answers to three crucial questions the Democrats are determined to avoid asking. First, what is the full extent of the Democrats' prior coordination with the whistleblower? And who else did the whistleblower coordinate this effort with? Second, what is the full extent of Ukraine's election meddling against the Trump campaign? And third, why did Burisma hire Hunter Biden? And what did he do for them? And did his position affect any U.S. government actions under the Obama administration? What we will witness today is a televised theatrical performance staged by the Democrats. Ambassador Taylor and Mr. Kent, I'd like to welcome you here. I'd like to congratulate you for passing the Democrat Star Chamber auditions held for the last weeks in the basement of the Capitol. It seems you agreed, witting or unwittingly, to participate in a drama. But the main performance, the Russia hoax, has ended, and you've been cast in the low-rent Ukrainian sequel. I'll conclude by noting the immense damage the politicized bureaucracy has done to Americans' faith in government. Though executive branch employees are charged with implementing the policies set by our president, who is elected and responsible to the American people, elements of the civil service have decided that they, not the president, are really in charge. They believed it was an outrage for the president to fire an ambassador, even though the president has full authority to retain or remove diplomats for any reason at any time. Officials showed the surprising lack of interest in the indications of Ukrainian election meddling that deeply concerned the president, at whose pleasure they serve. Despite all their dissatisfaction with President Trump's Ukraine policy, the President approved the supply of weapons to Ukraine, unlike the previous administration, which provided blankets as defense against invading Russians. By undermining the President, who they are supposed to be serving, the elements of the FBI, the Department of Justice, and now the State Department have lost the confidence of millions of Americans who believe that their vote should count for something. It will take years, if not decades, to restore faith in these institutions. This spectacle is doing great damage to our country. It's nothing more than an impeachment process in search of a crime.
You know, I will tell you, those are extraordinarily strong words. That was, again, Devin Nunes, his opening statement yesterday in the day one of the official public impeachment inquiry, trying to move toward the impeachment of President Trump. Devin Nunes, if you don't know, he is from California. He is from farm country in California. He's from the part of California actually where my husband grew up, which is a lot like West Texas. It is rural, it's farms, it's ranches, it's oil. It is not the glam California, Hollywood area of California. This is a salt of the earth guy. Those kind of words he said, I'm sure when he went off to Congress and first began to serve, he never dreamed of saying those kinds of words on air to the American people. You can sense from him, he was articulate, he was contained, but you can sense the outrage. And I actually think the American people need to embrace some of that outrage. We need to be as outraged as you can sense he is, as you can sense many people, as you can sense I am, because we are not watching anything worthy of the nobility of our country, of our elected government, of our Constitution that gives power to Congress, serious, substantive power to Congress, for the purpose of having Congress carry forth the will of the people. The impeachment proceedings are supposed to be very serious, very substantive, genuinely based. And when you understand all that the Democrats have done since the moment President Trump won the election, they have been doggedly determined to find a reason to impeach him. They can drive a man to, like Devin Nunes, to the point of that kind of castigation of the witnesses sitting in front of him, whom we will talk about in a moment. Your understanding, and we need to get this. This is the continuation of the coup that started inside the FBI and the Department of Justice, that usurped the proper role of those two agencies and substituted the proper role of those agencies with the agenda of the American left. And that went on prior to the time President Trump even won the nomination. It started early on during the Obama administration. It was carried forth under the Obama administration. And then once President Trump became the obvious candidate, and then he became the official Republican candidate, and then he became the candidate again running against Hillary Clinton, this has been a mission of the left to destroy this president since before he was sworn in. Everything they are trying to bring impeachment about in Washington is a mockery, including what Devin Nunes pointed out from the start. Devin Nunes is pointing out that the very person, one of the central characters in this entire episode dealing with Ukraine, is Hunter Biden. His role of what he was doing. We're going to talk about that in the next segment. But the Democrats are setting up the rules that the Republicans can only have witnesses the Democrats approve of. The Democrats are orchestrating the conduct of the hearing so that they only have some segments of the hearing in which the full questions can be asked. That's when Democrats ask. And when Republicans have questions, they are controlled and monitored by Adam Schiff, who interrupts the witnesses to say things like, now, you don't have to go there. You know, if that requires you to assume facts not in evidence, Mr. Witness, you don't have to answer that. He's coaching the witness the way a lawyer would. The lawyer on a mission to protect his mission to impeach President Trump. Adam Schiff is not conducting this in a way worthy of our Congress, of our Constitution, or our country. We had the witnesses that mattered the most to Republicans. The list was sent over. Democrats basically said no, not only to Biden, but even to this whistleblower. I went off on him yesterday. I'm not going to do that again today. I want to close the first five to say it's really important to understand the depth of anger that Adam Schiff is conveying. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Not Adam Schiff. He is angry, but he's insane. Devin Nunes, what he is conveying in that opening statement, Devin Nunes is making clear that the entire proceeding is a fraud. He points out they had hidden secret meetings in the basement of the Capitol where witnesses were trying out so the Democrats could figure out who would look best on air in public. The entire impeachment is a sham. It's an outrage. It's a continuation of the coup. It cannot be treated seriously by the American people. And if anything, it has to be seen by the American people as a reason to seriously condemn the Democrat Party in this country. I don't want to have to dedicate every show, the entirety of every show, to the impeachment between now and when the hearing is finally over, because other things are happening in this country. So closing out this first five, I'm going to turn in the next segment to talking a little bit more about the impeachment, to understand some of the astounding hypocrisy and irony. It's right in our faces in America if we're willing to follow the facts. We're going to talk about the impeachment a little more in the next segment. Then we're going to turn to other stories which are actually happening in America. And that, my friend, is today's first five.